Hi, everybody. Craig here. Welcome to episode 2 of my 4-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 4 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing as Straelak Soulreaper, and I'm leading the human Hollowkin. For more information on my leader and race characteristics and specifications, please check the video description. In our last episode, we got ourselves established, and you can see we have our throne city of Thorndusk here. We're located in the north, I guess you would say the north central portion of the map. We managed to explore a little bit to the east, and we did some battling. We got things kind of going. We gained some experience, and of course, I'm still in the process of learning how Age of Wonders 4 functions, as this is really my first playthrough series of the game, and I didn't have a ton of experience going in, as I talked about in episode 1. But we're learning quick, and things are moving along, and we're hoping, at least I'm hopeful, that I can keep the momentum going in this episode. Now, before I dive in, I did just want to give a few quick shout-outs to a couple individuals who left some fantastic comments on the previous episode. Now, the first of those comments is from Dr. Death. Dr. Death mentioned that something I need to keep in mind is that mana is a little bit more difficult to obtain in Age of Wonders 4 compared to Age of Wonders 3, where in Age of Wonders 3, mana was a lot more prevalent, and it seemed, at least in my experience, most of the time it was very difficult to run out of mana. So just a good reminder that mana might be a little more precious in Age of Wonders 4 in comparison. Doesn't mean I'm not going to use it, just to remember that it might not be as prevalent as I'm used to from Age of Wonders 3. Dr. Death also mentioned that the reinforcement range for battles is bigger, and we got to see this in effect last episode, and it kind of surprised me. There was a battle where my main stack was engaging in combat, and I believe the scout unit got pulled in despite not being in the immediate next tile. So, for example, if we zoom in here on Straelak's group, for example, we have this Lesser Storm Spirit sitting right next to Straelak's stack, and obviously if there was an army that we were fighting right on the tile I've highlighted, we would both get pulled in. That makes sense, but there was a situation where the scout was further than one tile away. I didn't think that it would get brought into the battle, and it did. And so what Dr. Death is pointing out is that there's actually a large red dot hex kind of thing that'll show up. We'll keep an eye out for it next time I engage a battle with a stack nearby, but that will indicate whether that unit is going to get pulled along into the battle. And this is a kind of cool system because it means that units can support each other without having to be, hanging off each other's hip kind of thing. So I think that's actually very cool, and it's good to know about. So thank you to Dr. Death for that one. Obviously, a good reminder here from Dr. Death is that since I'm playing as the Dark Society type and my units are able to inflict weaken, that I should be using that because then my units have Cull of the Weak. So if we take a look here, this deals 20% damage to units that have weakened, and attacking units with weaken will grant this unit regeneration once per turn. So that's extremely powerful because what it means is that my melee units have a great way to try to recover some health if they attack units that have weaken, or have been weakened, I should say. And the Warlock, as an example, has weakening bolts, which have a base 90% chance of inflicting weaken for 3 turns. So that's amazing and a very, very good synergy. And it's kind of part of the playstyle of the characteristic I've chosen for my leader and my people. So this is definitely something I need to keep in mind. So really good reminder there from Dr. Death. We got to see this in action a couple of times in the last episode, so I'm going to make sure I keep that in mind and try to capitalize on it as much as I can. Another point here from Dr. Death is to make sure I don't forget about Sundering Curse. Now, although Sundering Curse is a 3 action point use ability, meaning that once you've used it, you can't do anything else. This is still extremely powerful because it sunders defense and resistance and can inflict weaken, and probably more importantly, it always hits, and you can see here it has a 6 tile range compared to the average ranged attack, which has a 4 tile range. You can see that with the little yellow arrow. So thank you to Dr. Death for that excellent reminder. One last thing is that there is a way to boost production for the things you're building in your city. So just as an example here, if we look at the library, in order to boost this production, boosting a city structure reduces its cost by 30%. Boosts automatically apply when the requirements are met. So what this means is if I had one forester that was built And this is a province improvement. So this is a structure that claims the province and expands the domain. So once the city has grown enough and I can claim a province, if we take a look here, let's go back to the city, actually. Here we go. So you can see I could build a forester on one of these tiles, and doing so would then speed up the production of my library. So very, very cool. We're going to keep an eye on that and try to take advantage of those synergies wherever possible. The next comment here is from Giggle Blizzard. Giggle Blizzard mentioned that he very, very happy with the battle speed that I've chosen. So in most of my Age of Wonders 3 series, I've always used the accelerated tactical battle speed setting just to not drag things out too much. But I've tried now for Age of Wonders 4 to play on the I guess default pace, and then I can speed it up by clicking if necessary. So I appreciate Giggle Blizzard pointing that out, that the system I'm using so far seems to be quite enjoyable to watch, or at least works pretty well. So that's excellent feedback, and I really appreciate it. Some comments here from Devin Larson. One thing I could do is, we have our Whispering Stones up here. Now, these are used to negotiate with free cities, and I have one available. Now, so far, I haven't run into any free cities, so something I could think about doing is actually giving it to my throne city. And the way I would do this, and this is another comment here from Devin, is that if I want to look at the city structures, I can check this tab, go over to structures, and there you can see what's already been built in the city. I had asked in the last episode how best to do that, and there it is. So we can see exactly what has been already built. The other thing we can look at is our province improvements, and then on the settings tab, we can do a few other things here, but we can assign a governor. We could give our Whispering Stone to the city, and what this would do, it would passively improve the city stability by 2 per turn, up to a maximum bonus of 20. You can see here we're currently at 10, and if we get our stability up to 40, that would bump us into the next category, which would be orderly. And that means we would get additional bonus, so plus 10% versus plus 5% to production, draft, and food income. So that's certainly something to consider. Alternatively, though, I may encounter another city here very shortly, especially if I do some scouting or I send my skeleton over this direction. That may then allow me to find some other cities. So I may hang on to the Whispering Stone, but it's very good to know that I can apply it to my own city. Devin also mentioned that in tactical battles, there is an undo button, similar to, I believe it was in Age of Wonders Planetfall as well, where if the unit hasn't done or taken any damage or gotten any status effects, they should be able to, you can undo the move. So this would be useful if I misclick or something. So I may take advantage of that. Devin also suggested something I could consider doing. When engaging in battles, there's the option to retry the battle if it doesn't go as well as you were hoping. And obviously, I'm trying to stick to my Ironman play style of not resetting if things go wrong. But what Devin suggested, and I quite like the idea, is that were I to do an auto battle and it doesn't go my way, or it's, the outcome isn't what I was hoping for, that might be a good situation to take advantage of that option, to try and use the retry option. And I quite like that, because auto battle is kind of rolling the dice anyway. So I think that's something I'll keep in my back pocket, although going forward, the battles are going to be almost exclusively manual for now. But I appreciate Devin pointing that out. Then just a few other quick comments here. Nolan Cook mentioned that in the future it'd be useful for me to maybe give my thoughts on Age of Wonders 3 versus Age of Wonders 4. Now that I've played a bit of Age of Wonders 4, I'm certainly starting to formulate an opinion and kind of how I feel about it in comparison to Age of Wonders 3. I'm quite enjoying it so far, but I think I'm going to need some more time before I'm able to fairly compare the games, just because I've spent so much time with Age of Wonders 3, and I'm still very new to Age of Wonders 4. But I still think that's a great idea from Nolan, so I think that's something I might try doing in a future video. Some comments here from David Houston. David mentioned that I was kind of mistaken on overchannel. So I think I had talked about this in the last episode, and I wasn't 100% sure how this functioned. So what David pointed out is that this is basically a free action. And you can see that because when you look at those 3 little dots, none of them are used up, meaning that you can use it freely and it's not going to limit any of your other movement. So that's a great point there. And it's just going to give you that chance to, as it says, allow you to cast an additional spell in the same turn. David also pointed out that in a way that's kind of different from Age of Wonders 3, your leaders and your heroes can cast a spell and still do an action in the same turn, meaning that casting that spell isn't going to shut them down for the rest of the turn like it did in Age of Wonders 3. Very, very helpful to know, and again, something I'm going to have to adjust to. David also pointed out that your units will heal faster when they're in their home territory. So you can see here that we have total health regeneration is 5, wilderness is +5, but I suspect that if I were to move this unit back into my territory, that would increase, and so my units would heal faster in friendly territory. So that's really good to know. I may need to take advantage of that if my units, as you can see, they have taken a bit of a beating. So that's probably going to be something I may need to take advantage of. David also mentioned that heroes and scouts can found outposts. So as opposed to Age of Wonders 3, where the only way to really get a new city going was to use a settler, you can actually do it with your scouts now. So I'll have to figure out exactly how to do that. Let's see. I think what I would do, I think you can go to here. Yeah, build an outpost. So it requires a hero unit. So the structure, claiming a province. Oh, so maybe it is just the hero. I might be mistaken on my interpretation there. But at the very least, with a hero unit, you can found an outpost, and then you can use that outpost to potentially upgrade it into a city, as you can see there. So forming the foundation for a new city. So something I could do, rather than try to expand Thorndusk all the way over to this Gorgon's lair, I could build a city over here using my my hero, my leader, Straelak here. So really good to know, because I'm going to probably have to take advantage of that. And then just quickly, the casual gamer mentioned that the pace is good, both the battles and the explanations. I know I'm running a bit long here, but in this introduction for the episode, but I think it's useful because, again, I'm still learning the ropes of the game, and you guys have been fantastic with all the excellent suggestions. So I thought it was worth going through them and talking them over as well. And then finally, we have a few comments from Nicola Bonner. Suggesting that in the future it might be good to actually play through the story, and I think that's a great idea. I had thought about starting with the story, but I wanted to just do a custom game, a custom scenario first, just to kind of learn the ropes of the game. And then Nicola agreed with the pacing being pretty good. And the main comment from Nicola was to try to increase my upload schedule to have episodes coming out more frequently. And I would love to do that. That's actually something I'm planning for in the future here. It's just at times kind of difficult because obviously YouTube isn't my full-time job, with work commitments outside of YouTube, as well as family commitments and all the other things. It can be sometimes tough to find the time. So, but like I said, I'm really hoping that I can increase the rate of videos for you guys, because I really enjoy making them, and it sounds like you guys are having a good time watching them as well. So, and that just makes me so happy. I really enjoy the community, and I'm so thankful for you guys. So, again, I know we went a bit long on that intro, but I think it's worth it because we went through some of the learning points for me, and hopefully for some of you watching as well. All right, so we used up most of our movement. As you can see, everybody's pretty much out of movement there. So why don't we take our skeleton, and I had mentioned this, why don't we go and do some scouting with him? There's obviously a bit of risk involved if we send him off by himself, but I think this could be useful because perhaps we're going to find, oh, and look at that. So this appears to maybe be a spawning structure that's going to threaten our city. Let's see, Thorndusk can annex its first province. So let's see if we want to maybe do that. Okay, we've got some options here. I see that some of these have some resource nodes. We've got an iron deposit. We've got a gold vein. I'm probably going to go for the iron deposit and build a quarry on it to really increase our production capacity there. I think that would be very, very useful for us. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. That's going to help that iron deposit. Just taking a look there. So if we were to do like the forester, we would get some food and some production. It would also boost the production of the library. That is one thing to remember. But I think I'm going to go for the quarry. So let's go right here on the iron deposit. And that's going to claim this site for the city. So with that, I guess we will end our turn there. I just want to double check what we had going for spells. We don't have any strategic spells, so that's nothing to worry about at the moment. All right. We are working on Bone Golem. That's going to be ready next turn. So let's end it there and see what happens next. All right. So we are on day 4. Bone Golem is ready, and that means we have another opportunity to choose our research choice for the next turn. One thing I'm going to do with the skeleton here, and I guess I could have gone down this road, but I would like to see what this is that we're dealing with over here. Okay, so this is a cave entrance. Okay, got it. So let's go back up to the surface. So yeah, this one, we may need to explore down there and figure out if there's anything worth checking out underground. You can see we've got a small monster den that's currently asleep, but I believe I think turn 5, at least it was turn 5 in Age of Wonders 3, if I remember right, it should wake up and start threatening us. So we're going to need to get our group over there relatively quickly, I think, to start dealing with that. So we'll send our skeleton over this way to continue exploring and see what else he can find. Now, we do have the production capability here. Why don't we recruit another skeleton? Then we can cast that spell and end up with a bone golem once we combine the 2 skeletons. So let's grab one more of them. And let's see. New Empire. Okay, so we have new Empire development skill available. Let's take a look. Oh, very cool. We can do Shadow Empire skill. Gain 150 knowledge per hero defeated in combat. That's going to cost us 100 Imperium. Now, we're not fighting heroes at the moment, but that could be quite useful once we get to the point where we're fighting against one of our opponents. Or if we get to that point, because obviously there is the diplomatic options. We're still a ways away from having anything in the Materium Affinity line, and we're only getting 1 per turn, so that's going to take quite a while. Meanwhile, in the general, we're getting closer to basic seafaring, which I think we're going to need given that the map type is continents, so we're going to need to do that. Shadow Empire skill, yeah. You know what? Let's grab it. It is a little costly to take, but I think that's going to pay dividends once we end up in battle with some of our opponents. Okay, so here we go. We're going to clear out this mana node so we can send our Straelak's forces over, and we can also include this little guy here, this Storm Spirit. So why don't... Actually, hang on. Let me see what happens if we were to engage... Actually, no. I was going to say we could engage the battle with this little guy just to test it. Oh, well, here, you can see right there. Oh, okay, so this is exactly how we can tell who's going to come into the battle. So if we engage it this way, we are going to have both Straelak's stack and also our scout that are going to join the battle. So that is pretty cool. I'm very, very happy to know that we can see it that easily. Why don't we do this then? That way we don't have to use any of Straelak's movement. Oh, here we go. Fiend or foe. As your troops engage the group of fiends, it becomes apparent that they have been conjuring a portal to withdraw. The Inferno Hound, the apparent leader of the gathering, casts a shrewd eye over your army. Seeing that there is scant hope of survival, it beckons its own troops to sit on the ground and submit before following suit itself. Watches you with wary hope. So we basically have the opportunity here to allow them to summon their portal to the infernal world ruled by demonic princes, where they're, I guess, going to retreat to their home, or we can kill them. So if we kill them, we're going to get some evil alignment, and if we let them go, we'll get some good alignment. It looks like if we had enough mana, we could bind the Hound to us as a unit, which would be kind of cool. We don't have enough mana currently, so why don't we kill them? And the rationale here is we're going to get some experience, but we're also going to get the negative alignment, which we do need as we get additional benefit the more evil we are. So let's go for it. Plus, it'll be good practice. We need to keep getting some more experience in battle. So we'll do this one manually. Now, again, the big trick here is going to be watching out for our units that have taken some damage, because obviously we don't want to lose anybody in what should be a fairly straightforward and hopefully easy battle. So, let's see. We can use our... here we go. We can use our restore. That's going to be helpful on our pikemen. There we go. That's giving them a little bit of temporary hit points. Storm Spirit can move up. And then our scout can also advance here. Not really wanting to get into the battle too much. But we can at least activate our defense mode there. So our units that are fairly healthy, we've got a Dark Warrior over here that's in really good shape. And our Archer and Warlock are obviously both doing pretty well. So Sundering Curse we're not quite in range for yet, but we will be relatively soon. So why don't we just kind of get ourselves in a good spot here. We can sit in the foliage and get our defensive tactics going. And then we'll park our ranged units in behind. And that's probably going to do it for us. We're going to keep this Dark Warrior kind of out of the fight just because not in the best shape. So we'll end it there. We're going to let them come to us. There we go. So I was going to say I can adjust the playback speed there as needed. And I can do that manually by clicking as well. So let's see here. We could do some pretty decent damage. Let's take a look at this guy real quick. So he's an Inferno Hound. So he's got low maintenance and Pack Hunter. So if he's got friendly units that also have Pack Hunter, they get a boost. He's an Animal. Desolate Walk. He's a Fiend, so he's got frost, a -4 frost resistance and -4 spirit resistance. And he's immune to burning, which makes sense. Okay. So nothing too crazy there. We're not in range, but we can do our Sundering Curse. So let's do that. Nice. Look at that. Big damage, and we blasted them with the effects of it. So they've got Sundered Defense, Sundered Resistance, and Weakened. So this is going to make this a much easier process to do some good damage to this unit now. You know what? Why don't we step right up here with our archers? Oh, yeah, and look at that. We can blast for some good damage. Very nice. And they're stacking that weaken on even further. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can finish them off here. Or very close to it, I should say. Because we're not going to get the kill, but... Oh, they're decaying, they're bleeding, they're just all over the place here in really rough shape. So why don't we charge in and get the finish with our Dark Warrior. Perfect, and there we go. You can see that regeneration being added on to our Dark Warrior. And that makes sense because, again, the unit was weakened and we had that... boy, the name of it is escaping me as always, but the Cull the Weak. So there it is in action. Alright, so now what do we got? Vampire Spider Hatchlings. I'm assuming these ones can evolve here. Yeah, they can. They just have some blight resistance. Other than that, nothing too crazy to worry about from what I can see here. So they can hit the Storm Spirit and the Dark Warrior. So why don't we park our Storm Spirit like this? Let me just double check and make sure. Okay, good. We have blight resistance with this guy, which is going to help us out, just in case, because I think these guys do some blight damage with their melee. Oh, no, they don't. Okay, it's just physical. That's good to know. They do have lifesteal, however. So we will rotate the unit this way, and then we will park in defense mode. Everybody else is just going to stay put, I think. We'll end it there. Now, I suspect that what's going to happen is we're going to take some punishment here. Ooh, ouch. Yeah, that hit pretty hard. It was kind of nasty. Storm Spirit took a bit of damage, but nothing we can't handle. So now we can just gang up on them and really let them have it. We're not in range yet, so why don't we step forward here, do some magic bolts. Let's watch and make sure we don't hit ourselves. Okay, we didn't. Now we've inflicted weakened, which is exactly what I needed. And so now we should be able to just really let them have it. Yeah, we can do some big damage here. Oh, yeah. Huge. And then the finish we can get with our Night Guard. Perfect. Nice and clean. Doesn't look like we had any level ups, but again, we are trying to get more experience with our Storm Spirit to try to get them to evolve. So you can see here, XP earned is 2. I think it's just 2 across the board. I had mentioned this last episode, but a bit of an adjustment because in Age of Wonders 3, your units gain experience largely based on how they perform in battle and what they actually do, whereas in, I believe, both Planetfall and now Age of Wonders 4, your units just gain the same amount of experience for being involved in the battle. All right, very cool. So now we've got that cleared out. Looks like we've got an iron deposit down there that's occupied as well. Maybe what I'll do is I'll scout this a little bit more just to see if I can get a better handle on what is over here. Ooh, and look at that. Okay, we have a watchtower. We can go there next turn with our scout. That would be very good. In the meantime, what we might do with Straelak's group is send them back over this way. This would give us a chance to move back through our home territory, get a little more healing done, and then get over there to clear out that structure and protect our city. So why don't we do that? We will move that way. It's giving us a little bit of a chance to kind of reset, which I think is very helpful. We'll do the same with this Storm Spirit here. There we go. All right, Bone Golem is now ready to go. So we can select a new research choice. Let's see what we've got. We've got Brand of Wrath. Grants non-dark units Cull the Weak. Now that could be very useful. This is a unit enchantment. Grants a bonus to a specific group of your units while it's active. So basically, this would mean, for example, my Storm Spirits would get Cull the Weak. So affects units of type. Skirmisher, Fighter, Shock, Shield, Polearm. I'd have to double check. Let me just go and see here, just as an example, if that would impact. I believe it would. So they are considered a shock unit. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because they have Charge Strike. So, let me go back here. So yeah, I think we're going to go Brand of Wrath because that's very powerful. Real quick, though, let's just take a look. Soul Overflow. This is a buff spell. So that's one you use in battle. Gain +1 strengthen, 20 max hit points until the end of battle, and you have negative status effects removed. That's pretty powerful, especially if you want to use a unit like a tank or something to soak up a bunch of damage. Yeah, I think we'll go Brand of Wrath. That's the one that's appealing to me the most out of the options. And I think we will hang on to our Whispering Stone for a little bit longer here rather than giving it to our Throne City. Hopefully that doesn't bite us in the butt, but I think that's going to be the best plan of attack here. Okay, we're going to end our turn. Okay. So we have some more movement we can do. Again, it's going to take us a little bit to get over there, which is totally fine. We're moving through our... Actually, it's a shame. Maybe I should have parked us in our own territory to improve the healing. But either way, we're just getting the... Oops. We're just getting the opportunity... Didn't mean to click on the city there. We're getting the opportunity to heal up as we move, which is good. Now, this guy we're going to send down, I think, this direction. Ooh, here we go. Okay, so... Baroness Zish Thorncrown of the Free City of Dim Tour. Let's see. Okay, so they have the same convictions. I believe they're probably evil alignment as well. So that's great. I'm going to begin negotiations here. Oh, excellent. Yes, so they have an evil alignment as well, which means they like us. So I'm going to give them a Whispering Stone, I think. Perfect. And I can boost my allegiance with them using some of my Imperium resource to expedite the process of getting them over to Pact of Loyalty and becoming a vassal. Why don't we do that? There we go. That's fantastic. And then we can get an agreement going with them, which will be fantastic. Now, over here, again, we are moving this little guy so that he can join those battles with our main stack. So here's an example. He's now in our home territory. Let's just take a look at his... Oh, yeah, look at that. Total health regeneration 25 because we're in friendly domain. So that makes a tremendously big difference. That's very, very good to know. Let's head over here. Oh, fantastic. Oh, my goodness, look at this. Wow, a fire giant, a tier 4 unit already visible. Holy cow. Ooh, man. That's a scary, scary giant right there. Very, very powerful unit, as you can see here. Oh, wow, and at legend rank, he would get killing momentum. That's pretty scary. Demolisher, fierce. So he's minus 50% morale lost from all sources, but he cannot rout. Fiery Wake. Ignites flammable objects. It moves over. Siege Breaker. +1 fortification damage. So these guys are great to have when you're sieging a city, it appears. Unit can crush non-fortified obstacles without slowing. Wow. Volcanic Smash and Heavy Charge Strike. Very, very cool unit here. Mythic unit. Powerful unit that doesn't conform to a particular fighting style. Large target, so he's a little easier to hit with ranged attacks. Land movement. Wow. Well, that's definitely beyond our capability to clear out at the moment. This is a Fireforged Stone, magic material. So magic materials or resource nodes provide bonus effects to your empire as well as provide city income. They can be traded to other empires and free cities. Oh, interesting. If all magic materials of the type are collected, they'll provide an additional powerful bonus. Well, that's very cool. So, okay, so yeah, you can get Rings of Binding, Cosmoflux Elixir, or Imperial Essence, but you need to have all of the requisite materials coming in. Well, that's definitely beyond our capabilities at the moment. What is this up here? This looks like one of those little camps. That might be like a cartographer's tent from Age of Wonders 3, if I remember correctly. Here we go. We've got an iron deposit that's pretty well guarded. Ooh, Lost Queen's Crypt. This is a silver ancient wonder, so a little bit stronger than the Gorgon's Lair. So we'll probably need to start with the Gorgon's Lair, and then maybe once we're a bit stronger, we can start thinking about the Lost Queen's Crypt. Counts as a research post. Ooh, adds the Corrupt Soul unit to the Rally of Lieges. Very cool. An ethereal fighter. Yeah, that might be worth getting to eventually. Okay. So our scout can keep moving. Now, here's an option. We could try and go underground and at least see what's going on down here. But quite frankly, I don't know if that's worth sending our scout there or if maybe we should go grab some of these resources that I can see on the ground up here. Yeah, we've got mana. We've got... oh, there it is. Cartographer's Tent. Okay. Unexplored location. We've also got gold over on this side. So I think I'm more inclined to grab some of these free resources while we're able to. All right, and this skeleton... maybe we'll send him back, and then we can start that spell right now and combine them into a bone golem. And maybe add them in with our main stack. Let's see. We want to go down here. You know what? We could cast this right now. Just looking at it. Yeah, there we go. We could do it right now if we really wanted to. So we have... I think we have enough casting points, so... let's go back over here. There they are. They're together. Now... if we click here, we can right-click. Oh, very cool. Nice. Okay, now we've got a Bone Golem. So, just to double-check here, the Bone Golem is a shock unit. It's considered undead. Obviously, that makes sense. Magic origin. It's a large target. Land movement. It's immune to morale because of the undead. When this unit dies, it spawns an enfeebled skeleton unit. Demolisher... that's good if I'm attacking fortified objects. It's got charge resistance. although that can be countered using heavy charge strike. Oh, and it has the ability to consume a corpse for extra healing. You get 30 temporary hit points, and it has a charge attack. So that's a pretty cool unit to have. Quite happy with that. So I might take one of my Dark Warriors out of the army here and replace it with our Bone Golem. So I think what I'll do is I will grab this guy who's got the lowest health. So let's grab him. We can move him back to the city, and then we can replace him with the Bone Golem. So why don't we do that right now? Perfect. Very, very nice. Oh, and we've finished the library. That's excellent. So now, ooh, and look at this. The shrine is boosted because we have a quarry. And you know what? That wouldn't be so bad to improve our mana income. Let's see. Just looking at what the boosting would be for other... So you need a farm. You need 2 quarries to improve the blacksmith. You need a quarry and a forester for the Arcane Institute. Yeah, why don't we start with the shrine? It's going to give us access to the mana obelisk as well to further improve our mana income. So we'll start with the shrine. And that's going to do it for our turn, I think. I don't think there was really anything else I could do. So why don't we end it there, and we'll see what happens next here. All right. So, see how we're doing with our diplomatic relationship. So in 2 turns, we're going to be able to initiate a pact of cooperation. So that's definitely on the immediate horizon for us, which is excellent. So let's head over to this small monster den and see if we can clear it out. Yeah, here it is. So we've got 2 Razorbacks, which are tier 2 units. Take a look. Ugly little guy. He's got Quill Shot and Quill Hide. So melee attackers will sustain damage just hitting them. Now that can be countered if we have the Weaken and then we get some restoration, or regeneration, excuse me, from it. So that's just good to keep in mind. Now this is considered a ranged unit, so shouldn't be too big of an issue. Nice. Okay, let's grab the Cartographer's Tent. Okay, Silver Bridge. Let's take a look at this. So is this another... Oh, and we can't... Because we haven't been all the way over there, we can't take a look at them. But I believe that's another free city. Oh, and this one is guarded. So the Mana Stash is guarded. Not able to just claim that. Now, we might want to head back and grab this chest, because that is not guarded, as you can see. Storm Spirit. Alright, so let's get our Storm Spirit in there. Again, we just want him to join in the fighting. We really just want to get as much experience with him as possible so we can get him to level up and get us a tier 3 unit more quickly. Meanwhile, we'll... You know what? I was going to have him just sit here, but maybe we do a bit of scouting up on this side just to see what we can see. That wouldn't be the worst idea. We could at least go that direction and just take a peek. Oh, nice. Brand of Wrath is now complete. Very, very cool. So now we have access to Baneful Curse. This is a debuff spell that's used in battle. Enemy units in a 1-hex radius gain Sundered Defense, Sundered Resistance, and Weakened. You know, that sounds pretty good because, again, all of these abilities are stacking on that Cull the Weak, Weaken sort of combo. I really do like that. But let's see, Soulbinders. Oh, now this would buff my Battle Mage and support units. You get a base 90% chance of inflicting Soulbound on base attacks, increasing the soul gain when target is killed. Plus 10 damage against units with Soulbound. You know, I don't mind that just because souls are a main mechanism for us recruiting our undead units and things like that. So that's not terrible. Yeah, let's do it. We'll grab Soulbinders. Looks like... Okay, nice. Thorndust can annex another province. Well, you know, I was almost thinking maybe another quarry, but a forester wouldn't be so bad either. Though, you know, having a gold mine here would be amazing. That would really buff our gold income quite a bit. Let's see. What else can we do? Over here, we could just build a forester. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no other tiles that have anything I'm super excited about. It's this gold mine, really, is the thing. So if we were to build forester, we would get a little bit of production, a little bit of food, and still have the gold mine, gold vein income. Mine's giving us +5. Let's just take a quick look at our structure tab again and see. So the stonemason is farms, storehouse is forester, farm, quarries, quarry and forester. So if we do the forester, that would improve our storehouse and our Arcane Institute production. Another quarry would help us with the blacksmith. We need to make some farms, which we can't do right now. The mana obelisk is also 2 quarries. You know what? Let's do the forester, I guess. And then we'll probably do another quarry as well. That's great. So we're getting the gold vein income as well, which is fantastic. Okay, here we go. Small monster den. Let's see. We should be able to clear that out next turn once we have the movement to get there. Everybody else has pretty much done their thing. So let's end it there. Alright, so far so good. Ooh, look at this. Arachna's Day. After today's diplomatic negotiations, their city wants to celebrate a Gaudir they are in awe of, Arachna. Let's see, make this an annual event. It was my idea. The people's morale has never been better. Surely you will contribute to the celebration. What can we expect from you? Oh, okay, so we can donate something. I'm going to donate some gold, I think. As I'm looking at this, we could give some Imperium. We could give some knowledge. Gain 6 and a pack. Yeah, let's do the gold. Very cool. So we now have a pact of cooperation. You know what? We can boost this as well. So we can only do this once per diplomatic state. So why don't we do this now? There we go. Let's see. Let's get in there and attack this monster den. We're going to want our unit to be in range so he can come with us. There we go. All right, and then we can... Well, everybody's got the same movement, so it doesn't really matter who goes to engage the battle. We may as well just all go. So we'll do this one manually. We do have to be careful. These are both tier 2 units, so we aren't messing around. And obviously their ranged attack is going to be pretty nasty. So we're going to want to watch out for that. Alright, our turn. So, first things first, let's throw on the Restore, just to give temporary hit points to our pikemen. Very nice. And let's see, we are not yet in range to use our Sundering Curse. So what we'll do instead is we will... I think we'll probably try and take advantage of some of these obstacles here. Just to provide us a bit of protection from some ranged attacks that may come our way. The Bone Golem, I think, is going to be very useful as well. Just because we also want to keep in mind we have those defensive tactics. So, yeah, we'll use that wherever we can. Our Warlock up there. Storm Spirit can move in to reinforce as well. And I think we'll just end it there. Then we're going to let them come to us. Yeah, here they come. Okay, so they didn't hit us with anything yet. Now, I don't think they're in range. No line of sight. But we can hit him with the Sundering Curse. So let's do that. Nice. There's a weaken. That's a very powerful ability. I love it, too, because it doesn't require a line of sight. I didn't realize that these bones were completely obscuring. That's good to know. Now, one thing I guess I could do is just charge my bone golem in there really aggressively. Cancel the... now, it does cancel defense mode as well. Yeah, that's the advantage of charge. So why don't we do it? Man, that bone golem is beastly. Very, very powerful. Okay, so we can do a little more damage here with our Night Guard if we wanted to. I should have probably moved my Dark Warrior in so they could charge and get in there easier. Well, we'll do that now. Let's see, our pikemen can go here. That's going to allow our archers to actually get somewhere that they can, yes, they can see and do some damage. Nice, that was pretty good. And then, I believe we should be able to get in range here. There it is. Okay, perfect. 80% chance to get the kill. Very nice. Okay, fantastic. And then our Storm Spirit, not really doing much, but that's totally fine. And we will end it there. So our Bone Golem's going to take some punishment, but... Ooh, a little bit of damage there, but nothing we can't recover from. Now, we could consume a corpse for some temporary health. It's not going to give us any permanent health boost, but we would at least get some temporary health from it. Now, what I would love to do is get my... Yes, there it is. Okay. We've got to try and get that weaken on this one. Nice, there it is. Okay, so we were able to get it at least the one time there. That's good. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to cast... I had finished the spell for the unit upgrade for my Storm Spirit, like I was talking about, that gives them the same Cull the Weak that the others have, but I forgot to cast it, so that was a bit of a mistake. Thankfully, I should be able to cast that and get things going this turn. I just kind of remembered as I was in the battle here. Alright, so Bone Golem can charge in, do some big damage here. Yep, very nice. And then we should be able to move in, yes, and get the kill. Actually, we won't quite get the kill. We'll be very close. Why don't we move up like this? Our archer could actually move right up here. And we might hit our own unit, but let's see if we get lucky. Nice, we did. And now, yes, now we can get the finish pretty handily. There we go. We took a bit of damage, but we had temporary hit points, so not a big problem. Very cool. And there's some additional experience, 2 more for our Storm Spirit and for everybody else as well. Nice, okay, let's see. Wand of Inversion. Wand of Inversion. Remove all negative status effects from the target ally. Grants a random positive status effect for each negative one removed. And then we also just got some production and some food. So let's see. The wand would go... So let's see if we equip it there. Oh, okay, so it's not... It doesn't take the place of the weapon. That's good to know. We will confirm that. That just gives us another ability, basically. That's good. Negotiation succeeded. Our diplomatic state. Yeah, so now we have that pact of cooperation. Free city opens its borders. Trading's enabled. Magic materials can be traded. And we're going to go for that pact of loyalty. It'll share its vision with us. The free city allows building on claimed provinces. Contributes to the rally of the lieges. And it will reinforce in combat against marauders and rulers the free city is at war with. So that's good news. All right, so we have Horn Dusk produced a shrine and also produced a skeleton previously. So we have to pick what's going to come next. But let's finish moving before we decide that. So now the question, do we want to maybe go underground and see what's there, or do we want to maybe go clear out this mana node? Mana node is right here, so it might be worth doing. Let's just use this guy to do a quick scout. Oh, okay, look at this. So we've met another free city. Your reputation precedes you. Forgive us for being wary. We may not share your beliefs. We ask that you respect the territory. Yeah, so I don't want to do that at this point, and I have already given away my Whispering Stone, so we're going to say enjoy your freedom for now. Okay, well, that's good to know that there is a free city down there. What's this? This looks like maybe some production resources. Oh, a large creature cage. Okay. Maybe we can get a new friend. Meanwhile, up here, why don't we head over and we can clear out this mana node since we're in the neighborhood anyway. I guess the only thing that, since I sent that guy underground, I may miss out on a battle with him, but that's okay. Just in terms of gathering experience. Ooh, and look at that. Okay. We've got another spawning structure up here, so we will need to probably get rid of that as it threatens my my ally, free city, and also my throne. So that one we're going to have to deal with. Now over here, why don't we just turn around and head for that gold? Okay, Thorn Dusk, we can do production. We could go Town Hall 2 Dreadspire. So let's see, this is going to give us +1 province, annex range, more gold income. Negative city stability states give no economic penalties. It's going to unlock special province improvements. They replace an existing province improvement. Oh, we can get army visit bonuses, army spawn points, army effects in and around the special province improvement. They're unlocked with tomes and cultures. Okay. So it requires 3 population to unlock, so that's what we were waiting for. It's going to give us the Warlock and Night Guard, so the ability to produce those units, which is pretty good. And also the Interrogation Dungeon. Let's see. Oh, you know what? We can do the storehouse right now. Look at that. 0. Sure, it's boosted. Why not? Yeah, there we go. Now, the only problem is now this, instead of this taking 2, it's going to take 4 to do. But, you know what? We might want to also do the Arcane Institute just because it's boosted now. Get that out of the way. And then maybe we go for the Town Hall. This is going to give us additional knowledge income, speed up our research. I definitely don't mind that. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's boosted. Might as well take advantage of that. And then while we're in that process, so we have to keep in mind, we've used up a bit of gold now, especially we gave some to our new ally, but our scout is hopefully going to gain some additional gold. So maybe we'll use our souls instead to make some undead here. Why don't we do another bone golem? That's a very powerful unit. Uses mana as upkeep. That's the only thing we have to remember. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's go to our spells. Yeah, here we go. So we've got to do Brand of Wrath. So that's going to cost 90 mana, 90 casting points. Going to take 1 turn. We're going to have to wait 1 turn to do it. So let's see. Upkeep per unit is 1 mana. So the more units that are impacted by it, right now it's just two shock units. But as that grows, it's going to get more expensive. So let's do Brand of Wrath, keeping in mind that we're using up our mana. And then, again, if we go back to our unit production, our skeletons require mana upkeep, so we just have to keep that in mind. So these ones, in comparison, require gold upkeep. You know what? Let's just do a bone golem, and then that should be good for a while. That's going to do it for our turn at this point. I don't think there's really much else for us to do. So we'll end it there. Okay, day 8 has dawned. take a look. Our scout can keep moving, getting closer to that gold resource. Excellent. Now we can keep moving and battling. So here's a great opportunity to go in and see if we can win that battle, hopefully without too much difficulty. Before we do that, though, let's see if we can grab... Oh, and it's guarded. Of course it is. I should have known, really. That was kind of naive of me to think it wasn't guarded. Yeah, okay, so we've got a gargoyle and then some lesser stone spirits. So, yeah, this guy needs to go back to the surface. He's kind of unable to do a whole lot underground by himself. So, all right, let's see now. Where would we need to go if we wanted to bring this guy into the stack, into the battle, that is? So as long as we're here or here, we should be fine, and we can do either one. Very nice. Okay. So let's engage this battle manually. I could probably start doing these in auto combat, admittedly, since we are pretty strong, but I don't want to risk it, really. So what are we fighting here? We've got Caustic Worm and a Wyvern Fledgling. All right, shouldn't have to worry too much about them. Why don't we get... ooh, look at this. So our Bone Golem, Mana Crystal, Fortified, can only be damaged by units with Demolisher, so our Bone Golem could do that. All right, we're going to do the exact same thing we've been doing, which is throw on our Restore. This time we're going to throw it onto the Bone Golem. Very nice. Now the Bone Golem's going to go cruise on up there. Hang out in defense mode. The Storm Spirit can kind of move over. And then let's get our Pikemen kind of up there. What we'll do is we will put our Warlock in behind our Undead. Our Archer's right next to them to get some benefit. Defensive Tactics, there we go. And then let's park our Dark Warrior over here as well. I think that's going to about do it. Again, this is probably overkill for what we need, but... Alright, so they're moving towards us. Now, are we in range for anything? Let's see, can we hit a Sundering Curse? We could. Can't quite hit the Wyvern yet, but we can hit the Worm, so let's do that. Boy, I love that ability. It is so strong. Very, very good. I'm very glad that it was brought to my attention. Just how useful it is. Alright, Death Blast. So if we move up, we could hit him. Not in range for our Archer at this point. So the Caustic Worm is going to charge us. Do some blight damage, which would be good for our Undead to tank. And what range does he have? You know what? Let's just pull back a little bit. Go like this. And then I don't think... Oh, he can get in there. Shoot. I was thinking he wouldn't be able to. How about now? What I want him to do is just go for my Bone Golem, really. Actually, you know what I could do is just charge right in there. Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. Let's do that. Nice. Okay, that was pretty good. Oh, you know what? We could charge in. You know what? Let's do this. There we go. Charge in and get the finish with our Dark Warrior. Perfect. There's the regeneration boost. And then our Archer can move up. And our Storm Spirit. We'll keep the Night Guard back just because they've suffered some damage, so there's no sense risking them unnecessarily. And then that's going to do it. There's that warding buff. I keep forgetting about that. Ouch. Okay, doing a bit of damage back. That's good. We did take a bit of punishment with the Dark Warrior. Thankfully, nothing we couldn't handle. Oh, yeah. We can blast for some heavy damage here, so let's make that happen. Nice. Did apply Draconic Rage. That's the only thing we have to watch out for, but... Just to double check that. Let's see. So Draconic Rage. Units it deals... Okay, so it just deals extra damage when it's been weakened like that. That makes sense. And this guy would evolve when it hits champion rank. Let's see, it would become a wyvern. Makes sense. It's a young wyvern. There we go. Let's get a flank shot here. Nice. Good damage. And then our bone golem can eliminate the wyvern. There's a nice victory. And very nice. We got a silver medal with our warlock. And we got a level up for Straelak as well. Oh, and we're at silver medal with our storm spirit too. This is going very well. Ooh, a bone wyvern mount. Very fast movement, cavalry unit type, and flying movement. That could be very useful. Let's take that reward. So if we go in, we can do our level up. Now, currently, our staff that we have is preventing us from having a mount. Okay, support. So we were planning to probably go for defensive training. All non-hero. That's another option just to get them some additional experience. Try to level them up faster. Well, army leader, all non-hero units in the army gain 2 experience each turn. I mean, that's pretty darn powerful. Defensive training, though, I quite like this. Units in the army gain +1 defense, +1 resistance. I'm probably going to do both of these eventually, but maybe I'll go with the experienced leader now just to try to expedite the experience gain. You know, especially if I'm between turns and there's no battling happening. Although, playing it safer with defensive training would probably be wise because that's going to minimize the risk of me losing units. So let's go with defensive training. Again, I think either way would be a good choice, at least from what I can see. Oh, and it looks like we've got a signature skill here. So we got Visions of Woe, Reckless Rage. Ooh, Summon Animal. Summons a random tier 3 animal unit. This summon lasts for 3 turns. Dark Ritual. All corpses in it turn into decaying zombies. Oh, that's cool. That sounds like a pretty good ability. Wow, these are quite strong. These are all full 3 use except Reckless Rage. This is you could use it with no penalty, I guess. Damage sustained by the target friendly unit is transferred to this unit with a 20% reduction. Rallying Blessing. Honestly, I'm liking that Dark Ritual. It's probably the one I'm going to go with. I'm just double checking. Yeah, let's go Dark Ritual. Very cool. And then we're still going to do our point here. So let's do... We had chosen defensive training. We're going to confirm that. Very, very cool. Now, we can close this and we can look at our item. So we have the lightning orb and we have that bone wyvern mount, but we can't really use it because we have this staff of decay, which is... I quite like this item. That death blast is pretty decent. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is, rather than equipping the mount. Although it's nice to have. I mean, we might end up needing it later, so we can close this off. Now, I guess the next question is, where should we go next with our hero? Maybe going underground would be a decent idea, but I actually think it's probably smarter to go up and clear out this spawning structure. So I think this is a great place to end the episode. I know I took quite a bit in the introduction, but I think it was worth going over a lot of those points because, again, it was very helpful for me. Some of the great learning points there. So I think probably what I'm going to do is head up with my main stack to clear out the spawning structure here. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think would be sort of the next approach here? Should I head over, clear this out? Should I go underground and start working there? Or should I keep exploring or maybe head off in a different direction? Let me know what you guys think. Just seeing if there was anything else. Yeah, we can't grab that till next turn. So we'll stop here. Brand of Wrath is ready to cast, so we can do that next episode. I just want to double check the Empire development. We do have basic seafaring now available, so this is another option. What we could do, we're very, very close to getting all seeing. Oh, look at that. Free cities or vassals with a Whispering Stone assigned grant you plus 15 knowledge. That's very good. The vision range is also helpful, but would have been more helpful initially when we first gave the city our Whispering Stone. But yeah, so we could do basic seafaring, and then that would give us the ability to cross the water here. So lots of options, and we'll have to figure out what to do next. So let's zoom out, take a look at the map, and we will save it right here. So we're going to call this one, well, we'll make a new save, and we'll call it First Series Episode, if I could spell that would be great, Episode 2. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.